And it's true that in our family we've always had, right from the beginning, many years ago, celebrations of various sorts. Everybody's birthday, Christmas. We had other things too, Guy Fawkes Day and
Daddy coming home.
And yes, when I used to come home from being away and so on, we always used to make it an event. It was always ritualized to some extent.
You know what we call this? The elephant's eyedropper.
Are you going to baste it?
Wonderful. I think it's the biggest turkey we've ever had. As I say, my father had a 40-pound one. I just don't know how we managed. I can't remember. They must have been the strongest man in the house to take it out of the oven. That was the old coal oven, you remember? The range.
It's really jammed into that pan.
It is. It just made it. You see, I was wondering if it would. I put it in. Okay.
Great tasting. Yes.
Yes.
After an impassioned conversation about Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire and the importance of popular culture,
And how we both liked the movies and nobody of our set
we continued.
did, yes.
We continued. They were tended to be intellectuals. We continued to meet, and eventually, not too long after, we got married, and that was almost precisely 40 years ago.
40 years ago, 12th of June, 1942.
When we were out together dancing cheek to cheek.
Women used to pour into Edie's hut and talk about women's affairs, and I was able to study masculine rituals such as the circumcision ritual and certain hunting rituals from which women were excluded, and she was able to study the girls' puberty rituals and enter into the girls' seclusion hut, where the women gave the novice, the initiand, the postulant, if you like, training in what they called women's wisdom.
And celery and lots of sage and onions, freshly chopped, and lots of butter. So the butter in the turkey pan has now reached about so deep, so there's no trouble with basting.
Even our children were sort of pressed into service. Being a Scotsman who wouldn't like to waste anything, and they used to tell us about children's games that they played with the other children in the village, and we all wrote it down, adding to the volume of our total notes. So I would recommend that anthropologists who are married and have families do not leave them behind, but actually go into the area in which they're working. And then they get a total coverage of the human condition if they're sympathetic and they're prepared to do so.
Fred's doing the turnips, and Rory's doing the yams, Rooney's doing the squashes over there, and Malin is doing the creamed onions. So I have no work to do. We saw that you just couldn't limit the explanation of their lives to their economic work in the fields, that this didn't seem to explain why they had these beautiful, complex initiation ceremonies, nor could you explain it from just physiological changes in girls, say, when they are about 15 years old. But it's their sort of genius for religion that they were able to use this to integrate the whole society and give them that feeling somewhat of glory when all the women are singing together, even those rough songs we were describing before. They they know they're a great tribe. They know that the spirits above or below are delighted with the scene, and the girl will be fruitful and have children.
On my birthday, the witch doctor came to the village, and at the same time our hut, which was a kitchen hut, burnt down, so I have always slightly traumatized feeling about it. But
It was her birthday too. It was your birthday.
Yes, that's what I
It was
said.
her
I remember
birthday,
that, yes.
And
So
she
very
said,
clearly.
my birthday's all gone, when she saw this
The hut's
fire
burning
and
down.
the kitchen had burnt down and everything. But I had already made her tiny little birthday cake. So afterwards, I took her on my lap and I showed her her 5th birthday cake. 5th birthday cake. And she began to stop crying and put it in front of Vic, Dad.
Great.
Wow. Hey, here it is. Put it down there.
Hooray! Great.
Hey.
Now what am I supposed to do with it?
Seeing the great faith of the people pouring into the narrow portals of that basilica and revering the miraculous picture, the Tulma there, and all their little artworks in the side chapels where they put little ex-voto pictures of the help they've received through miracles from Our Lady of Guadalupe. And you can see how their love of the Virgin has kept them going in bad times. Whether these are sort of kind of supernatural miracles, it's very hard to say. Whether they may have been. I mean, we don't understand very much about this. But whatever, it has made their morale sufficient to survive a very hard life. And it's a wonderful system, actually. And superstition, some people may call it, but it's worth every bit of it in pure human happiness. And when you have a big, complex, beautiful religious system, it would be just terrible to have to throw it away.
Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I seek when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. Heaven, I'm in heaven, and the cares that hung around me through the week seem to vanish like a gambler's lucky streak when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I love to climb a mountain and to reach the highest peak, but it doesn't thrill me half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I love to go out fishing in a river or a creek, but I don't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Dance with me, I want my arm about you, the charm about you will carry me through to heaven. I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I seek when we're out together dancing.